What up, gang? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound the like button as you are coming in. Actually, just do these three things. Just do these three things right now for me, okay? First things first, watch this. That's it. That's all you got to do. So make sure you pound the like button, subscribe, and hit that post notifications bell. All that's for free, and I'll keep you up to date every time I'm live. Subscription is free. The like button is free. So what's stopping you if it's free, right? What's stopping you? All right, we got a lot to talk about. OTAs are up. Flame for Jesus has really spoken about how he cares about the offseason. Doesn't care about OTAs, doesn't care about training camp, doesn't care about preseason. Well, you should, because this is going to tell you where this team stands. Now, the OTAs isn't, the training camp kind of does, but preseason last year proved a lot of where this team was going to be last year, and we should have looked at the preseason games and said, yeah, we're not going to be that good. We are not going to be that good. And I was the one that drank the Kool-Aid. I was the one that said we were going to win 12 games, or not 12 games, but 10 games, and I drank the Kool-Aid. So I honestly, I have to disagree with that. You can say OTAs you don't care about. I'm cool with that. Training camp you say don't care about. I'm cool with that. Preseason games, it'll tell you where this team stands. A little bit. It gives you a good idea, at least. I mean, it for sure says it. I mean, it for sure told us last year. Yeah, and the first game will tell you that for sure. But so will preseason games. You go back and watch those preseason games, it's going to tell you a lot. It's going to tell you a lot. So I put a poll up in our the community chat for the Rockstar Report. Over 240 votes, which was pretty insane just for a poll. 240 votes? Really? Just for this. I said, which position group of the Panthers is your biggest concern? 240 votes. 69% of you said cornerback. 8% said edge. Linebacker, 3%. And center was 20%. %. That's crazy. 69%. Hey, and don't get me wrong. I totally agree with you guys. And I'm glad that I did that. I'm glad I did that poll, because honestly, I can't agree more. I cannot agree more with you guys in regards to that. Okay. I think the cornerback position is still a position of need. Still, I mean, they need to fix that problem, fix these problems fast. Like there are free agents out there that are still available. And I did some research to see what guys are out there. I'm going to give you my top 3 today. I'm going to give you my top 3 free agents I still think we should try to target. I know we got waiver wires, but I still think there's some guys out there that we should sign. And Stephon Gilmore, any of you in the chat think Stephon Gilmore is in that list of my top 3? He's not. He's not. But they do need to fix this problem fast. I mean, Dan Morgan, Dave Canales, they've made some significant changes to this team. This roster looks entirely different, especially on the defensive side, the offensive line, the wide receiver room, tight end, running backs. I mean, a lot of things have changed, right? We only managed to win 2 games last year. All right. But I think change is good. Change was needed. Even Dan Morgan admitted, guys, that he can't fix every problem. He can't. He can't fix every problem here in one, and especially in one offseason. And I totally get that. You can't fix this team in one offseason. I didn't expect him to. But the Panthers are tight on money. All right. We were tight on money. We're still tight on money. Didn't have the number 1 pick in the draft this year. Considering how bleak things kind of looked before this whole recruitment period through free agency and the draft, the new management team deserves credit for handling everything. ESPN came out, gave their biggest roster needs. Other platforms have come out and said that as well. The Panthers still have gaps to fill. All right, no doubt about it. I think the most significant remaining need after even watching that poll, I mean, for the Panthers is definitely quarterback. This could be what holds this team back if they don't address it soon. All right. The top 3 cornerbacks, if you're looking at it, assuming J.C. Horn stays healthy, he's only played 22 games over the last 3 seasons. So there's very little depth behind Horn, Dane Jackson, Troy Hill. Then your 4th corner is Smith Wade. All right. All right. He's strong in zone coverage, but he's a smaller corner. Okay. He's not a ball hawk or a playmaker. They might squad last part on the injury reserve of his knee. He allowed a poor 22% in coverage. Deshaun Jameson, undrafted free agent, only played 10 defensive snaps in weeks 4 and 5. So to me, that means that this is familiar to everyone who follows the Panthers closely. It's been a neglected issue for years. Let's be honest. It's been a neglected issue for years. I think it is. I mean, the potential problems are apparent. You look at this roster. If J.C. Horn, being that former first-round pick, has had more bad luck with injuries, but Dan Morgan has come out and expressed his confidence in this current cornerback group, and they've distanced themselves from the whole rumors about Stephon Gilmore. I think that I think it's smart that we distance ourselves from a guy who's 33 and a half years old. And I'm okay with that. Guy has had solid the past 2 years. Father time's catching up to him. He's coming off of surgery. He's debating about coming out of retirement, or he's debating about coming back or going in retirement, but I will say Dan Morgan has mentioned he's open to being aggressive on the waiver wire, especially if there's opportunities that arise. But there's definitely some free agents I want to target. The Panthers, again, they are first on the waiver priority list this offseason. So good players will be released. They will be released now and the start of the season. So that gives us a chance to fill some of those gaps. Hopefully find some valuable contribution. I don't know if they will. Especially guys who just didn't fit elsewhere. And sometimes that happens. And sometimes they go to different places and they ball out. That's the NFL. So what needs to happen next is that no matter how they go about tackling these issues, in my opinion, something needs to be done. Period. The Panthers defense, I think Ejiro Evero is probably one of the top 3 defensive coordinators in the NFL. All right. But he has lost some key players this offseason. And this team has shifted its investment to the offensive side, right? Supporting Bryce Young. So other teams are going to notice this. And the last thing the Panthers need is for their secondary to give up big plays and become a weak link. I know money is tight. And one reason their interest in Gilmore was reportedly cooled, but Brant Tillis' experience in managing finances, they should be able to set aside some cash, especially if a productive corner becomes available. Anything less would be a big mistake given the current options. I think another thing is they got to go out and get another edge rusher. I think another pass rusher out there, which we're going to discuss. My top 3 free agents. I went through the top free agents available. The guys I'm mentioning, I think are the best that available. All right. And some of you might not agree with the cornerback, but I'm taking the age over the experience when you see my cornerback that I'm going to mention. What's up, Chris? Panthers Day 1 comes in and says 20 people in the chat, 13 likes. Smash that like button, drop kick that subscribe button. Show your support for your Panthers and Clay. Appreciate that, Panthers. Definitely need a corner for sure. No doubt about our defense, but I'm uncertain at the time. I don't have any doubts about the rest of the defense. Do I think that an extra pass rusher would definitely benefit this team? Yes. But the corner room does, there's a lot of doubts there. There's a lot of doubts. Do you think the Panthers from this season, we might carry 3 running backs from now on? They might carry 4, Chris. The way this is looking, they might carry 4. They might carry 4. I could see them carrying 4 running backs. I can see Dave Canales pulling it where they pull 4 running backs. I swear it. I think there could be a chance. 5 people watching on Twitter, 21 watching on YouTube. Appreciate everyone in here. Just make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Challenges ahead, guys. So there are challenges ahead, in my opinion. Challenges ahead. Okay. I definitely think there are challenges ahead. Now, some of you might not agree with that, but I do. I do think there's challenges ahead. I just think there is. I don't think anybody's expecting this team, especially our owner David Tepper this season, to be holding up that Vince Lombardi trophy at the end of the season. If you do, go get there's a place called Barnes and Noble, and then there's a book called Football for Dummies. Go read that. I don't mean to, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just being honest. If you think this team is holding up a Vince Lombardi trophy or even making it close or even making a playoff run, you're sadly mistaken. Okay, I'm just keeping it real with you. Is there potential there that they could win the NFC South? I think there's potential, but it's slim. All right. Any given Sunday, right? But seriously, if you think this team's going to the playoffs or is competing for a championship, there's a place called Barnes and Noble, or you can order it off of Amazon. It's called Football for Dummies. Read that book, okay? Then you can come back here and talk about football. What's up, Lomax? But Dave Canales, it's the 3rd head coach here now. And as many seasons, if you think about it, so it feels good about the strategy he's pushing here with this team. Hopefully towards respectability again, or even a better next season. On the other hand, Dan Morgan has taken that cautious approach, saying not everything will get fixed in a year, and I agree with that. And the Panthers are focused on long-term goals, and I'm okay with that. All right, this is not the NFL is not a marathon. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. All right. The NFL schedule came out. Predictions are rolling in. Many Panthers thinks will improve, but some people don't. Some people out there, some analysts think that they think it's going to be another tough season. They think that we could be 2-15 again. Some people think we're going to be 3-14. Some people think we only going to win 4 games at most. All right. But a lot of people are saying that the Panthers are banking on Canales to reignite Bryce Young's career like he did for Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith. Okay. Canales is definitely going to be calling plays. With the offensive coordinator and him are obviously going to be on the same page, which is good. But new additions like Deontay Johnson, Xavier Legette, with so much inexperience and uncertainty, which I kind of have to agree with some of these analysts, this roster might be a year away from competing with other teams in the division. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible. Not saying that they can't improve. I still have my early predictions, guys. I have them going 7-10. I'm still in between 6-11, 7-10, and that's where I'm staying. Okay. And I think it's doable with the schedule we have. It's definitely favorable enough. I mean, we have the 3rd easiest schedule in the NFL, but that doesn't always transpire. But this team should be motivated. They should be determined. I think Canales is going to use all criticism as motivation. Doubts about Bryce Young to the lack of primetime games, the low expectation. You take all this fuel and you try to prove everything wrong. Now, sometimes that can lead to a lot of pressure. But even Dave Canales posted on Instagram hinting that he's taking the lack of national television games personally. He says he hopes that his players feel the same way and strive to be better, right? But for you guys, there's a difference between realistic goals here and optimistic fans. Making the playoffs again is a long shot. But being competitive in every game, playing solid football, showing determination through good and bad times, that's within reach. I think 3 wins is probably the worst case scenario. Anything less would be hugely disappointing. While a winning record, would be absolutely fantastic, right? But aiming somewhere in between seems more realistic to me right now. That's why I'm at the 6 to 7 to 10 wins. Okay. This organization at this point, guys, is just trying to redeem themselves after a season that turned them into an absolute joke. Canales and general manager Dan Morgan have been working hard to break in a sense of professionalism, teamwork, belief that has been missing for so long. There's that cautious optimism among us long-suffering fans who mostly take wait and see approach after being let down by past regimes. Once the fans see a better team and group of players fighting hard, that's something that I can get behind. Are they ready to turn things around? We'll see. This is a start of a long journey. It's a journey. You know what I mean? This is a journey. Chris, I hate to break it to you. There's not going to be any high quality quarterback in this next draft. I do not trust this next draft class at all. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to be worth that good. I think he's going to become with too much baggage because of his father. No offense. The best quarterback in this draft class is either going to be Drew Allard and Quinn Ewers. And I don't even know if I'm willing to say that those guys are going to be any better than Bryce Young, because they haven't showed me anything with the talent they've had around them both, that they are really worth a first-round pick. Especially if we go 3-14, 2-15 again. Those guys don't show me anything worth a first round talent. Now, if they prove me wrong this season, great. We'll see how it pans out from there. But I do not trust this next quarterback draft class. The best quarterback in the draft class next year might be Carson Beck out of Georgia. Just here for some processed blue Kool-Aid. But definitely improvement is all I want to see for sure. I don't think Tepper got it right this time. I think Tepper got it right this time. GM and Canales. I think that's true. But they, one Panthers fan, I do like Dan Morgan. I do like Dave Canales. I think that's absolutely correct. I think they did get it right. If we do Jarvis, I will. I think I might actually shit my pants on a live stream. If because I'll probably be live the game that says that we won it. Right. If that's the case, I probably will shit my pants on a live stream if that happens. Just can't guarantee it. What up, Matt Chatter? No guarantee wins. There are a few winnable games. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that depends on that schedule, Chris, next season. And I think it depends on that schedule next season for sure. 30 people watching, actually 45 people total watching. Make sure you pound that like button and subscribe. We'll have to wait and see. Do you think the Panthers will? What do Carolina boy, what are you asking, my friend? What do you think? What are you asking me? I'm just not sure. I'm hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Then I don't get mad if we lose. I'm still happy if we win. Exactly. That's the best mentality you can have right now as a Panthers fan. And that's me too. Like, that's a realistic mentality. Like, expect the worst, but be happy when the best actually happens, right? That's like, we're hoping for the best, but expect the worst. Like, I'm gonna be happy for sure when we win, but I'm not gonna be mad if we lose because I expected it. That's what I'm trying to get to you, right? That's what I'm trying to get to you guys. Like, same thing that Flame for Jesus is saying. Like, that's what I've been trying to preach on my channel. Like, expect the worst, but be happy when we do win. But don't be mad if we lose because you should know that that's coming. You should know that that's coming. Next quarterback draft class or not, at all of that. Besides next quarterback draft class or not, all of that. Besides, defense is going to be where it's at. A lot of defense players picked. Yeah. Get those likes up. Thank you, Jadarius. We'll see, Chris. I need to see more out of Ewers for me to say he's worth a first round pick. I need to see more. I need to see more. I'm definitely going to be paying attention to Georgia football. I mean, of course, I'm going to be watching my boy Sellers out of South Carolina because I'm a Gamecock fan. So Cox by 90. Sellers looks like the next coming of Cam Newton. Not kidding you. So watch some Gamecock football this season. Watch some Gamecock football this season. And there's a guy that our quarterback this year that came in. He's actually from West Florence high school, if I'm not mistaken. He's gonna be an absolute stud. It's got a cannon. That guy might be a first round pick if he pans out. They're saying that he might be might be like Cam Newton AR-15, but better arm. That's where a lot of his comparisons are. So watch some South Carolina football this year. I know it's going to be hard, but Lenore Sellers, dude's an absolute stud. He's 6'3", 240 pounds, redshirt freshman out of Florence, South Carolina. Just go check him out, man. Dude's got an absolute cannon. Kid's got great tape, too. He's got great tape. Damn, we're going up. We're getting a lot of subscribers. We're growing, man. I tell you what, guys, in the past couple days, we've had a lot of subscribers. In the last actually last day, we've had 52 new subscribers. So shout out to you guys who are subscribing. We are growing like weeds over here. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. So thank you so much for being here and showing your support. Do you think the Panthers can outplay the Bears? They had the same strength of schedule. They might have one of the best wide receiver trios in the NFL. I know that we haven't seen Caleb Williams play yet, and we haven't seen Roma Duzier play left. But way that team is set up, that team might be the best team I've ever seen set up for a rookie quarterback. Can someone name a team that's set up better than that for a rookie quarterback, like in the past? I don't know if you can. They rebuilt that defense. They rebuilt the offensive line. They got Keenan Allen and Roma Duzier. They brought in another running back, DeAndre Swift. Like, do I think they can outplay the Bears? I think the question is, can Dave Canales outcoach the Bears head coach? Because that's what's going to come down to the Bears, I think. Their head coach, I think, if he cannot win more than 8 games with that team, they might need to start thinking somewhere else. I'm sorry. I can't remember the guy's name who's the head coach for the Bears. I just know from watching last season that you did see some improvement from Justin Fields when he was on the field, but I don't know, man. I don't know. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Damn, Marco's Cash is very, very positive, and I like it. Marco's wasn't like this last year, guys. Marco's wasn't like this last year. I don't know what's gotten into him. But he's a changed man. He's a changed man. I don't think it was me that did that to him. I know I didn't influence him. D Perks, what's up? We need to get my dog to the top 100%. It won't make sense to take a quarterback in the first round next year. Even if Bryce is not the guy, the fan base is better. Hope that Bryce is the guy so we can use our draft picks elsewhere. Absolutely. Game Dreamer. Absolutely. Panthers just went live with a presser. All right. We can go over there. We'll let the presser go out. I'm going to let the presser finish up, and then we'll go and watch it. Because there's some stuff. There's other things that I want to get through before we get to that press conference. Hen, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining. What about the quarterback from Ole Miss? Oh, Dart. His last name's Dart. Yeah. I like him. I need to see. I haven't watched enough of him. I've heard good things. I haven't watched enough of him, though. I haven't watched enough of him. Right now, if I had to pick anybody in that next quarterback draft class, it's either Carson Beck or Drew Allard. And then the next would probably be Quint Ewers. And then probably the Dart kid, because from what I've heard. And then Shedeur Sanders. I just don't want to. Here's the thing. I think Shedeur Sanders has all the talent in the world. I have nothing against the kid. I just the baggage that he brings along with it with everything we've heard going on in Colorado. I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, playing for Jesus, I agree with that. I normally wait 3 to 6 games. For me personally, to see where the rest of the season is going to go, I normally wait 3 to 6 games. Normally. But last year, you could see how it was off the bat, even in preseason. The first three, and even through preseason, the first 3 games, you could see where that season was going. And I just kept thinking, well, we'll turn it around. We'll turn it around. But if they don't turn it around, if they go 0-3 the first 3 games, there's a problem. We have to go 2-1 in the first 3 games if we want to have a chance at anything. And we're going to have to win some road games. We're going to have to be road game warriors. I've been saying that. When you look at our schedule, there are concerns though for me, guys, over this Carolina's offense. They made all the moves to bolster up this offense. Okay, I will say that. I will say that. All right. But you cannot afford to let this kid struggle again like he did last year. The Carolina Panthers can't afford that. You proved the offensive line. That was top priority for sure. Upgrading the skill position was also crucial, right? Getting Deontay Johnson, bringing Xavier Legette, Shadavion Sanders, Jonathan Brooks. All right. We've been hoping for change, and we've been hoping for the offense to improve. Not everyone in the league shares this optimism, though. Right? No, not everyone shares the optimism of this offense. Okay. Dave Canales and his players should have more motivation to prove themselves. Right now I've seen rankings where a lot of analysts have us ranked number 31 in the NFL for offenses, just above the New England Patriots. Even after the offseason changes. But again, we have to acknowledge the situation that Dan Morgan and Dave Canales came into. And I'm going to reiterate this again. The offseason moves that happened and we saw this year proves that Dan Morgan had no say under David Tepper and Scott Fitter last year. Because last year couldn't have gone any worse for us offensively. You threw a young quarterback onto the field to one of the worst supporting casts we've ever seen. And they were expecting him to elevate them, and that's just not the case. That's not who Bryce Young is. The good news here is that Dave Canales, like I said, has worked wonders with other quarterbacks like Geno and Baker. So he has that opportunity to do the same with Bryce Young. And the supporting cast, I still think is a work in progress. It might not be. It just depends on how these rookies pan out, right? If Xavier Legette pans out, Jadavion Sanders, that supporting cast there pans out. But also even the free agency guys, we got to say as long as Damian Lewis, Robert Hunt pan out, Corbett pans out at center, Icky comes back to, being what we drafted him to be, a franchise left tackle. So to fortify that protection, the run game, bringing in Jonathan Brooks, you added Rashad Penny. That running back room's crowded right now, but you did all the right things, okay, to help Bryce Young. But in the NFL, respect has to be earned. The Panthers have faced their fair share of criticism after one worst season to another, franchise history worst seasons. Morgan and Canales, their first goal right now is to change that perception, bring back that keep pounding culture. And once they achieve that, then you can aim higher. Then we can talk about playoffs. Then we can talk about contention. Now, again, the focus on the offense might affect defense. However, you got Ejiro Evero as your defensive coordinator, which I think should definitely help. Some holes on defense could put more pressure on the offense to score points. See, that's the thing I'm getting at here. When I look at this roster, the offense is definitely, I think we might have a better offense than we do defense. I think Evero could make the defense better in that case. You could balance it out, but the offense has to score points no matter what. We have to put points on the board and keep the ball on the field. And I think that's why Dave Canales wants to run the ball so bad, because he wants to control that clock and keep our defense fresh every time they get on the field. The strategy is it's a calculated risk, but it was the only real option to really see what you have in Bryce Young. Can he do better with that supporting cast? So if Bryce Young doesn't step up, the Panthers are going to have a major issue, no matter what. But he has some flashes from last season. There were some flashes when you break down his game film. There were some flashes of him making some good throws. You have to, but we are hoping that this kid lives up to his potential. If he does live up to his potential, then the Panthers could climb much higher in the rankings by 2025. But until then, they have to prove themselves on the field. You're born on the dark side, but you're trying the Jedi side this year. 34 people. Oh, wow. 68 people watching, 34 on Twitter, 34 on YouTube. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream today. Make sure you pound the like button. That's the best way you can show your support with today's live stream. So make sure you like and subscribe. That's all I ask, guys. It's all for free. Takes two seconds to do so. 2 clicks away. All right, 2 clicks away. We're on the road to 10K, guys. I'd love to get to 10,000 subscribers. Honestly, I'd love to get to 10,000 subscribers before the season starts. That is like a major, major goal of mine. So I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, happy belated birthday. I guess I didn't see that. I guess I didn't know it was your birthday. Maybe it was. Maybe I did say happy birthday to you. I don't remember. But happy belated birthday if I did. Scott Fitter is the best. Fit was Tepper's. Yes, man. He did what Tepper said. That's how yeah. And that's how he lasted this long. Yep. Scott Fitter must have been on that flock of shit. Carolina. I know. Zach Rappaport, mind if I get on the stream today? We'll see. We'll see, Zach. I don't know if I'm gonna have people come on today. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Shout out to everybody last week, by the way, who got into the jersey giveaway. Neo Shadow won, who was in the Discord. His jersey is on the way. I do need to get to him when it's going to be delivered so he can watch out for it. So I need to send him the delivery sheet. So if you're watching Neo, I will have that to you by the end of the day. No worries. Okay. All right. Eagles area scout moves to Carolina Panthers. Brad Obie joins the Carolina Panthers. He was a Southwest area scout for the Eagles. He's heading to the Carolina Panthers. He will now be our Midwest area scout. He's been in the scouting game for 16 years. He's had 2 stints at the Eagles, 6 years with the Chicago Bears. He was with the Chicago Bears from 2015 to 2020. But he hails from Philadelphia, graduated from Penn State, started with the Eagles as a pro personnel assistant, quickly moved up to the pro scouts in 2010, then transitioned to college scouting as a coordinator in 2011, 2012. He served as an area scout for the Northeast in 2013 and for the Northwest in 2014. After his time with the Bears, he returned to the Eagles in 2021 as a college pro scout before being reassigned to the Southwest region in 2022. Some scout. He has become the first scout. He has became the first scout to scout Houston Christian edge rusher Jalix Hunt. Impressed by Hunt, Obie pushed the small school prospect to the director of scout of Brandon Hunt. Ultimately to GM Howie Roseman, which led them to selecting Hunt at that 94th overall back in the draft. Brandon Hunt, another key figure in the Eagles scouting department, was running for the top personnel job with the New England Patriots earlier this offseason. So the Patriots decided to stay in-house, promoting Elliot Wolf, the director, scouting, executive vice president of player personnel. So what does this mean for the Panthers? Well, it means that they bring in a seasoned scout like Brad Obie, is a significant boost for the Panthers. His extensive experience, he's got a proven track record with the Eagles and the Bears. Will be invaluable as he takes on the role of that Midwest area scout. Dan Morgan's personnel department gets a veteran who knows how to spot talent, which is going to be crucial for the Panthers as they continue to rebuild this roster, and especially with these upcoming drafts. So, I think this was a great move. I mean, based off, if you look at the two, him being a scout for Philly. So, and if you go look at, what Philly's done in their past couple drafts, they've done pretty damn well if you think about it. So, you got to do that. When Fit didn't re-sign that defensive end that went to Philly, I wanted him gone. Oh, you're talking about Hassan Reddick. Yeah, that sucks. Eddie Pinheiro is about to lose his job to lose his job. Rookie went 5 for 5, 40. Dude, I told y'all. Now, here's the thing. We're going to talk about those undrafted free agents, and we're going to talk about Mr. Zach Mavis. All right. That's his name, right? Harrison Mavis. Sorry. Harrison Mavis. We're going to talk about him today. Harrison Mavis, the thick kicker for sure. Analysts came out and says that there's an analyst that came out and said that Bryce Young could silence the doubters. So here's the thing. I do think things are looking up for Bryce Young. Let's see how the season pans out, I will say. But this analyst came out and said that, he could be a breakout candidate due to what the Panthers have done this offseason. They pulled all the stops, let's be honest, to get Bryce Young, right? To try to make him successful because they are heavily invested in him. They're heavily invested in this offensive line, heavily invested in the wide receiver group, the running back group. They sacrifice some defensive strengths to do that, right? To hope that Bryce Young pans out. So Bradley Locker, out of the Pro Football Focus, has named Bryce Young as a breakout candidate, as one of the top breakout candidates for 2024. And areas of improvement, I will say, for Bryce Young needs to be and I won't say that, again, not everything was entirely Bryce Young's fault. That's still my belief. But he faced a challenging environment. Weak offensive line, leading to hesitation in the pocket, improving his deep ball accuracy is going to be crucial. It can make he can make those big throws. If you watch the deep ball, he overthrew most of his guys. So the ball getting there is not the issue. Getting it in the right spot, that was the issue. So defenses must respect his ability to go deep. He can go deep. It's just getting the ball in the right place. And he needs to open up the field for shorter routes. They need to open up the field with the shorter routes, and I think they will with what they've done. Young should have plenty of motivation to prove his critics wrong. The negativity that he's been getting, especially compared to CJ Stroud, he definitely had a way more successful rookie season, probably one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen in NFL history. The Panthers management remains confident in Young's ability. I'm 50-50 on the kid. But here's the thing. They wouldn't have invested so heavily in this offense if they didn't believe in him. So to me, the part of me thinks that shows confidence from the team helping Bryce Young bring that self-belief after a tough 2023 season. Now, this ultimately means that he needs to deliver on the field. And many have criticized that the Panthers for choosing him over Stroud, calling one of the biggest draft mistakes in NFL history. So those critics, we have to hope they eat their words as long as Bryce Young has a breakout season. For our sake, let's hope Bryce Young can turn things around. Because if he doesn't, it could be a long season. And then it could be a long transition. And we're going to have to face some severe consequences. Presser on now. Yeah, I'm going to do. We're going to go watch it after this. What's up, broski? Broski, I said he can throw the ball deep. I didn't say he can put it in the right spot. If you go watch his game film, broski, he actually overthrew every time he went deep. He overthrew them. Not underthrew them. He overthrew them. So it's not the fact that he can't get the ball down the field. You go watch his game film when he overthrew the passes. He overthrew, not under. Didn't say that he put it in the right spot because he didn't. That's why he barely completed any passes. He only completed 22% of his deep ball passes. I know that for a fact. Golly. All right, breakout candidates in 2024. I'm going to go ahead and say Bryce Young breaks out. This one to me has to be a no-brainer. All right, last year's numbers now has a much better setup to showcase his skills. Got a solidified protection on the interior line, dynamic playmakers, Xavier Legette, Deontay Johnson, tight end Jadavion Sanders. So Young is in a prime position to improve. Plus, a united coaching staff that sends the same message, which will be crucial for Young's development. They're all on the same page. Having that stability and support could make all the difference from him this season. That coaching staff is on the same page. That's one thing we have to think about. Everybody there is on the same wavelength. They all agree with everything that they're trying to do here. Now, Ike Ekwonu is another one. He had a so-so rookie year, a disappointing second year. To me, it led to many people doubting his potential, but don't count him out yet. The offense could be just what this, could be just what he needs to thrive. Okay. If head coach Dave Canales sticks to his plan of emphasizing that run game, I think Ike Ekwonu could really shine. Because now you have a solid left guard next to him, which is also going to help. I think Ekwonu's got the talent and the work ethic. It's definitely undeniable. Could be the year he puts it all together. J.C. Horn. I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to pray to the gods that this guy stays healthy. But I think he could be a breakout candidate. And it's not that I need it. It's not that I think this guy needs to break out in regards to numbers wise, stats wise. I need him to break out as in injuries wise, not to get injured. Because of his injury history, there's so much uncertainty. He's had a rough start to his career, several injuries past 3 years. If he can stay healthy, he has the potential to become one of the top corners in the NFL. He was top 3 before he got injured multiple times. He's a lockdown corner. Luck just hasn't been on this kid's side. If he turns it around in 2024, I think Horn could finally live up to that first round draft expectations. All right. I think these guys can definitely do it. I think that they all have the potential in the world. But J.C. Horn, for me, definitely needs to be a guy. I hope he can break out. For me, I hope J.C. Horn can break out. Jonathan Stewart. Let's talk about J. Stu real quick. He has come out and has just wanted this rally cry. He wants that we're not, the Carolina Panthers, as we all know, are not exactly the toast of the NFL right now. You're right. You're coming off of this, again, 2-win season. You had an owner who's made questionable decisions. The team isn't really held in the highest regard, right? But there's that sense of optimism now with Dan Morgan, Dave Canales here. But disrespected, motivated. The latest slight against the Panthers came in this year's schedule, where there were only teams. We were the only team to not receive a primetime game. This marks the third time in our NFL history in our franchise history, that we've been without a primetime game. So that just, to me, highlights the low expectations from the NFL this upcoming season. All right. So former Carolina Panther Jay Stu comes out and says that, and he's one of the best, to me, he's one of the best running backs in franchise history. Might be the best. Okay. So shout out to Jay Stu. Okay. He has called on this team to use that disrespect as motivation. I mean, this guy's literally a legend here, and we got legends now coming out and saying that, you should be frustrated. You should be frustrated. And he's saying that it's disrespectful. And that they should channel their injury, to channel that energy and put that on the field. His message is nothing clear. If you go read his message, or if you go see his message, you can go watch it on the Fan Nation. All right. You can view his comments there. But it was clear that nothing is handed to you in the NFL. Everything must be earned. The Panthers need to be ready for this challenge as they head to the next season. So we even have legends out here coming out and saying, like, well, broski, I don't think it helped either when he threw a drink at a fan. I think that was probably I think that was probably it right there, when David Tepper threw a drink. So we even got legends out here taking that. All right, here are my undrafted free agents that I think are going to make the roster. Okay. All right. Of course, let's start off with the fan favorite, Jalen Coker. How did this guy not get drafted is beyond me. 100, if you look at his stats, 160 receptions, 2,600 yards, 30 touchdowns. You think NFL scouts would have banged down this guy's door? He's not the fastest guy on the field, but the guy's got hands. He can snatch the ball out of the air. Like nobody's business. Even Deontay Johnson and Xavier Gillette in the mix. This wide receiver depth is still a bit shaky, but if Coker can shine in training camp and preseason, there might be just a spot on this roster. Another thing is Andrew Ram. I don't fucking know how to pronounce this guy's name. Either last name, either way, the man in the middle. Okay. With no true backup center on the roster, this guy can fill a much needed gap. I think Dan Morgan brought him in to be that backup role, maybe move up and learn from Austin Corbett. He has the chops to hold down the fort if called upon. I think he's a 2-time all Big 12 second team selection, so he knows how to handle himself in the trenches. Plus, he's only allowed 6 sacks. The guy is only allowed 6 sacks in his entire career at Oklahoma. So that's not too shabby for a guy who spends most of his time snapping the ball. And last but not least, the kicker, the thicker kicker, Harrison Mavis. It's already, we were just talking about a chat. Went 4 for 4, kicked a 61-yarder today. Eddie Pinheiro's gone. And Eddie Pinheiro has been MIA anyways during the offseason program. So I think there's a chance that they're definitely going to sign this guy, especially if he's done what he's done. Could be just the man for the job. I mean, the guy's got a leg like a cannon. Just ask anyone who's seen him boot a field goal. Plus, he's particularly automatic on extra points. When he was at Missouri, he was 147 out of 148 attempts made. So I think the Panthers are going to decide to part ways with Pinheiro and bring this guy in for sure. Clay, that Munich game could be, it's kind of like that. I think it's funny that the one big London game we get against Munich's in Germany. Yeah, I mean, Giant fans here in Cersei. Dude, there's so many Drabo. There's so many guys and so many giant New York people down there, man. Jets, Giants. Like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. All right, free agent targets. So these are the guys that I was doing some research on. Okay. First off, let's talk about Yannick Ngakoue. We got to fill the gaps that need to be filled. All right. We were just talking about it earlier. The biggest concern is corner, but I've also said pass rush. But again, they need to get another veteran edge rusher. Yannick Ngakoue is a proven pass rusher. He's averaged nearly 8 sacks a season. All right. Over the past few years, he's still available. The defense struggled to generate consistent pressure last season. I think if you have a guy like DJ Wanum, Yannick Ngakoue, and Jadeveon Clowney, all guys who averaged around 9 to 8 sacks, right? Based off last season, but Yannick Ngakoue, I think, only had 4 sacks last season. But his average through his nearly 8 sacks per season over his past few years, we just struggled to generate consistent pressure last season. So I think Ngakoue could be a good guy to pick up. He's got the speed, tenacity. I think makes him a valuable addition for the front. I think he can complement those guys. Shaq Thompson, fill the void a little bit of Luvu's departure. I like Yannick Ngakoue. All right, next guy, Dalton Risner. Okay, here's the thing. Guy in the middle. Okay. Dalton Risner. Here's the reason why I say Dalton Risner. With injuries and inconsistency has plagued this offensive line for years and last year, I think that Risner's experience and versatility could be a huge asset. He's known for his solid blocking in both the run and pass game. His leadership qualities would be invaluable in mentoring our younger linemen here. I think adding Risner would bring would stabilize this line even more, create better opportunities for that run game. I like Dalton Risner. Bringing in that extra depth in the offensive line is never a bad thing. And last but not least, I'm going with Adoree Jackson. Out of the cornerbacks left, I'm going with Adoree Jackson. I think Jackson can bring the experience, playmaking ability on the secondary. He's only 28. He's not the best in coverage, but he's not bad. Okay, so it's really just a depth piece. Okay. I think he's got the ability to read offenses. He's made crucial plays in the past. If you watch him, I think it could definitely help out in the rotation and the depth to this corner room. Okay. I think his leadership would also help groom some of those younger guys like Deshaun Jameson. Okay. Try to bring that trying to get that and ensure a cohesive, resilient cornerback room is needed. Right. I think that Ngakoue and Jackson definitely could shore up the critical areas that of need, right? Those two. But I think Risner could help build a competitive team and, from that offensive line standpoint. So I like these guys. These are guys that are still available. If you find someone better, y'all go do your research. I'm going to go put it in the community chat today. And I'm going to say, give me your top 3 free agents. And I'm going to say for these position groups that Carolina could go after. All right. I'm going to go put that in the community chat today. And I want to see what y'all come back with. I'm interested to see what y'all comment and come back with. So y'all go do your research on that. Okay. Y'all go do your research on that. All right, Carolina Panthers OTAs began today. If you haven't, like, we're definitely gonna go watch the press conference here shortly. So the OTA prep for me is that this is where you're built. Here's the important thing about OTAs that people need to realize. Okay, all right, you're building chemistry and cohesiveness with your fellow teammates. Okay, all right. You've seen it all over Twitter, I'm sure, the community service. Um, so the OTA practices kicked off today. It's ready to dive into the nitty gritty of football. It's all about building chemistry and cohesiveness, especially on the offense. Okay. Can the Canales effect? That's another thing I want to look at is, can the Canales effect happen? Can he transform these quarterbacks? Canales isn't just, it's not about the ball of energy. He's also a quarterback, or has been known to be a quarterback whisperer. So with a background turning around that struggle signal callers that we've had, he's got his sights set on Bryce Young. So a rocky rookie season. Young is poised for a fresh start. Revamp this offense and a coach who believes in him. Again, I want to be hearing more about this offensive line overhaul. Protecting Bryce Young at all costs is what was the name of the game. That was definitely top priority for Dave Canales. But also to be able to run the ball, right? That was his also thing, to bring in those big guys, not only to help Bryce Young and the protection, but also, open up that run game, right? And then, of course, the Pinheiro Mavis thing, right? Who's going to be our kicker here? Pinheiro's future is uncertain. They go out, they signed an undrafted free agent in Harrison Mavis. Sounds like Mavis is already winning based off of the comments y'all been telling me about. And then, of course, the edge rusher, Clowney hitting the field, Clowney and Co. hitting the field. That's the thing I want to hear and see. With Jadeveon Clowney really leading the charge in the pass rushing room. You got a few players sidelined right now, so it's up to some of these guys to step up during the OTAs and to really try to make their mark here. I just want to hear and see what progress is being made. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. So, let me see if I can pull up the Carolina Panthers press conference from today. Give me a second. JC Horn spoke. Dave Canales speaks. OTAs. So it's just Dave Canales and JC Horn.
Zones. Love the way I heard them talk out there, communicate from a defensive standpoint. And I'd like to see the offense's tempo coming out of the huddle to be better. Attack the line of scrimmage. So that just shows me there's still a little bit of uncertainty about what we're doing, what are things called to get the tempo that we want. But that being said, just a spirited day and a lot of really good work from the group.
Dave, how do you feel like, I know it's very, very early, but how do you feel like Bryce is, how is Bryce picking up the playbook?
He's doing fantastic with it, and the way that we do it is part to whole, really. So as we teach our concepts, just for an example, okay, so we say we have a pass concept, right? We're not going to use 6 different formations today to run this concept. It becomes something really good that we're effective at. We'll start to build it out. So for us, the formations are pretty vanilla, so that we can just teach the concept and what we want out of each route, the depth, the footwork for Bryce, for Andy, for Jack, and so that's the approach right now. So as I expect him to do, he's really mastering that part of it. The run game as well, just starting off with like the core of what our run game looks like so that the centers can make the right calls, the backs can press it proper way, and the quarterback can get us to the right run versus the different looks. So really pleased.
Dave, obviously there's not a lot of contact in practice, but we saw Bryce throw a few passes down the field where he connected with Ian and Adam. What have you seen from him as a deep ball thrower so far?
Deep ball, short intermediate. He's a really accurate passer. I think one of the things that I love is I can really focus in on his footwork and his base and the mechanics of where his eyes are at when I know the ball's hitting the receivers. And so, for the last couple of weeks, been throwing on air. I don't have to worry about where the ball's going. He's very accurate. Andy, the same thing, and I know it's they're pros, right? So people have this expectation that quarterbacks are accurate, but I know that some guys are more accurate than others. So I think it's the ability of Bryce to be able to throw to different body types, different speeds, different quickness at the top of routes. So I'm really impressed with that part of it.
Dave, with the rest you talk about, throwing the quarterbacks, the rookies, was that still like where you thought it would be, or how was it with your expectations?
Yeah, honestly, I come with open expectations. If they want to show me that we're dialed in and we're ripping it and we can start kind of moving along the progression of what we're installing, then I
don't like the word vanilla either, guys, because of the whole Frank PTSD I might have after hearing that word vanilla. I don't even know if I want to hear vanilla. I don't even want to eat vanilla ice cream. And I love ice cream, but I don't even want to eat vanilla ice cream because of that word. But again, Dave Canales has mentioned that we're going to start from the basics and we're going to go start from the ground up, and it starts from his footwork. So right now, vanilla it is, but that does not necessarily mean that we're going to see the play calling be. Hopefully we don't see the play calling be as vanilla as it was last year, because last year, I don't give a fuck what anybody says in here. Frank Wright's play calling last year was atrocious. That's why he deserves to never coach in the NFL again, because not because of Bryce Young, not because he didn't get CJ Stroud, because of the play calling was so fucking predictable. It was so predictable.
I love that. Today what it looked like is there's some fine tuning that still needs to happen, with some of our vertical routes, the timing of it, where the receiver's turning his eyes, the landmarks that our quarterbacks are throwing to. We got a ways to go. So, but it's good stuff. And now we get to have actual film against the defense to be able to watch our guys doing it. I think they're probably getting sick and tired of us watching, Tampa, Seattle, like historic clips from different teams. It's like, let's start building our own inventory of passes so we can study it and correct it.
Dave, you mentioned different body types and sizes. How does that impact how you're putting things in right now when you've added a Deontay, an Xavier, just different types than you've had in the past?
I would say, Darren, generally, the starting point for us is we just put in some core concepts and ask our guys to kind of fit the core concepts. That won't stay that way. The commitment of the offense and defense and our staff is, let's become what our players do well. But I think right now we're still in such a general phase that we're not really, honing in on the different skill sets of each guy. It shows up in windows, but we'll move guys in formation. We'll put someone who may be traditional be an outside receiver will end up in the slot. A tight end may be outside at some points, and the backs will be involved in empty. So I think we're still pretty early with that process.
Anything you've seen from Deontay in person that maybe didn't show up in your film review of him?
I think what you see on film is kind of what I've been seeing in person. So it's his ability to get in and out of breaks at the top, quickness, the pace of how he does it, the setup. This is a guy who's played a lot of football, and so you can see that really show up when you get into the team type of settings where he's just he's been playing so long. He's got really good eyes in terms of what the coverage shell might be. Where are my defenders at, and where does this route stem need to go based on what they're doing? So you can just see the natural way he plays football.
Hey, you touched on this earlier. The young guys, where were they? Where did you want them to be, and where were they coming in after rookie minicamp? And can you use that as an evaluation of your coaching staff and how they're teaching?
Yeah, I think partly. Our approach has been, especially with them, only getting them for a couple of days. It was high level. Here's what the huddle looks like. This is the different These are the letters we use in these formations. Here's our formation families. So it's really big picture. So I think I saw them just kind of saw their wheels kind of spinning a little bit today. And so I would expect them to gradually get quicker. And I can always tell by how the huddle breaks. And if a guy's kind of slowly coming out, he's thinking, and so there's a lot of good thinking going on out there. And that's about what I expect.
Philosophically, how do you create that from scratch, that almost like syllabus, right? Or what, like how you're going to teach it?
Yeah, so it kind of goes in like 9 install cycles. So basically on offense, we have 9 installs, and it covers most of the core of our offense. And the goal is to go through those 9 installs 3 times in the offseason. So in phase 1, it's a lot of classroom time, very little on the field. So we're taking it through them there, PowerPoints, visuals, video representations. Phase 2, you get out there and you actually practice the plays a little bit more with the full group, and you kind of repeat those 9 installs. Then you reset for phase 3. Here we are. We got 9 OTAs. So each day we'll hit one of those installs. And then we kind of have like a final exam, if you will, for minicamp, where we get them together. We mix them in those couple of days. We mix all 9 in and give them a chance to kind of study it, and then kind of give them a little bit of us, send them off in the summer with, hey, so here's the system. This is what a typical practice day would look like. And then we restart the process when we get in for camp.
We saw Ian Thomas a couple of times play some deep cats and another one on the side. How are the other talents you've added around Bryce kind of open things up from that position that never seemed to get opened up last year?
Yeah, I think honestly, again, back to the point, like I love bringing in young talent to raise the level of competition for every room. And what I love to see is for the guys who have been here to kind of feel, all right, there's this new person that, is drafted pretty high, and we may have expectations for a guy, and the guys that respond the right way, they show up and they work hard. They show up and they keep working on their craft, and they look for those opportunities to make plays. So it was great to see Ian, making a few plays like that today.
And the young talent that you got there in the draft to help Bryce get better this year, are you seeing, how much evidence are you seeing of that so far that can be a big help?
I think it's probably back to my point. Those guys are still really in a learning process. But I do get excited to see them in individual drills, to see the specific body movement of Xavier, to see JT, and just some of the younger guys come in and really working on their craft, trying to master it. So I'm excited about getting them up to speed so we can really see what we have. But it's really early. They've got a long way to go in terms of learning what we're doing.
You've been in touch with Eddie. Is there any expectation that he'll be here for mandatory?
I have not talked to him. So, I think we're just focusing on the guys we have. I'm glad we have Harrison Mevis here so that we can actually go through our field goal block period. So just really focusing on the guys that are here. And I'm sure Eddie he's got a plan for this whole thing. So
every one of these NFL calendar landmarks is a first for you.
Yeah.
What are you adjusting to? What has been maybe the biggest adjustment?
Oh, yeah, I think it's just, the week ends, but then my wheels have to be kind of turning for the next week coming up. Calendar adjustments. What type of load are we having on the whole group? Are we getting enough work? Are we getting too much work? And so Andrew Altoff, he and I just check in daily and kind of, have a specific plan for guys, trying to make sure we have the right amount of work for this time of year. And really do it intentionally, so I think some of those things are probably, the newer type of elements than what I'm used to, this being my 15th offseason in the NFL, but first as a head coach, having to kind of go through some of those things. And of course, just other logistical planning things like for camp, for different events, trying to build the team and how can I then also incorporate, just some team philosophy stuff into our meeting rooms when we're really trying to focus on the X's and O's part to try to trickle in a little bit of culture and those things.
You talked about timing coming out of the huddle, but during the combine, you also talked about Bryce's timing, getting the ball out of his hands. Where are you guys at in that process with timing his passes?
Yeah, I think today is like a really good starting point for because really what's going to allow Bryce to learn the timing as he grows is having the defense out there to kind of see like these windows close quickly. How quickly can I, if number 1 in progression is going to be, off pre-snap, how quickly can I get to 2 and 3? So those are all the things that I can't wait to just get into the meeting room, study what we did today, and build off of that and just kind of stack those days. But this is really the time that we're starting to evaluate that.
Can you provide clarity on Amari Barner's injury? We knew that it was an
Yeah.
injury. Can you provide clarity on what the injury is and what his timeline is?
Yeah, he had a pretty good ACL injury, and so he's progressing great. He was on the field doing some straight line running stuff today. He's been here every day working with our athletic training staff just to build the strength around it. His flexibility and all that the reports we're getting is great. So he's trending in the right direction. I don't have a specific date, but he is out there working and he's got his cleats on doing stuff. So
Guys, do me a favor. Make sure we've got 70 people watching. Whether you're on YouTube or Twitter, 42 people are on Twitter. Make sure you come over to the YouTube channel. Link is in bio, or just go into YouTube and type in the Ropp Star Report. Best way you can come over. Make sure you come on over here, hit the like, hit the subscribe. That's the best way you can show your support. You can also follow me on Twitter. If you do that and you like this and you repost this live on Twitter, that also helps. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Those are the two best things. All that's for free. Takes 2 clicks, takes 2 seconds out of your time. As I bring you this daily Carolina Panthers content, because I'm live daily.
I'm looking forward to getting him back up to speed where we could have him in a practice at some point.
David, Bryce and Austin sort of work on building that connection. Is there anything you can do outside of reps to maybe facilitate that chemistry?
Really, it's just up to them to kind of catch those early windows out there. You know, we're really restricted with the time that we can be on field doing those things. And that's what they're doing. You know, you start the walkthrough period and we have a center quarterback exchange at the beginning of every day. And then, you know, just the constant communication of, hey, the ball was here or the ball was there, or Austin can even say, like, when I'm stepping right, it feels like you're a little bit short on this side, you know. So they just constantly have to be talking and giving feedback immediately after each play.
Do a couple more, and guys going to Germany.
Yes.
Nonetheless, you're some people early.
Yeah.
Players a chance to sightsee, and someone late just have to walk. Any thoughts on that so far?
Yeah, I think it's our competitive advantage to kind of do it a way that I've seen that's worked. So I don't want to give too much information about that. But we were there, Seattle, Tampa. We were there 2 years ago in Germany. So we've had that model, and then I was able to, you know, pick Coach Bull's brain a little bit about what they did on their side of it, you know. And so we have a plan for that. I'm excited to get out there though.
Speaking of
Yeah, you got to earn it. You got to earn primetime games. You know, those things don't just come along. You know, it's every year, you know, you don't start out that way and they don't just throw you on primetime games for no reason. You know, we have to build something, a version of football that we're proud of, and be able to accentuate the strengths and talents of our guys that we have. And then I think that the world will want to see that at some point, but we got a long way to go and we got to earn those type of ops.
well, that was my question. Well, I'll piggyback on that. Do you use that as kind of motivation then for the guys, or?
I'm not a negative motivator. You know, I'm about possibilities. I'm about how good we can become. And so I think maybe some guys would be naturally motivated that way. If they do, that's just never really worked for me. I don't know who the teams are. Look at the schedule. I can't tell you whether I'm excited about it or not. I'm just excited. It just makes it more real for me now that it's like it's on paper and it's a solid, you know, schedule. It's like, okay, now this feels real. This season's going to happen, whether we like it or not. Here it comes. And it just gets me excited to go forward and do that. But we just don't know, you know, the teams that start off, you know, a certain way in the first 4 games are a different team in the middle of the season. And I just my expectation for our group is we take it 1 week at a time and we just get better the following week by working hard and by working together.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
When Dan picked up your 5th-year option, he said you deserved it because of all the work you're doing behind the scenes. What did it mean to you to know that was out of the way and they got it out of the way pretty soon before the deadline?
It felt good. Just knowing they believe in me. Seeing the work I put in. Now it's just staying on the field, controlling what I can control, and just playing good football.
Are you at a point now where, like, with the 5th-year option taken care of, you'd like to sign an extension, or are you just focusing on being here for the next 2 years?
Yeah, I'm focused on football. I mean, I let agents and front office handle all that stuff. I'm just focused on football, putting good tape out there, and most importantly, playing, you know, the whole season, staying healthy.
You're like you're not the vet in the room, but you're the longest tenured guy like that comes to the leadership position. What are you doing to establish yourself as that voice in the room?
Just trying to be more vocal. Like we had Dante last year, and he was kind of that leader. So just learning some stuff from him, and just trying to pick up where he left off and just influence the group in a positive way.
That corner that you're in is very different. How does the locker room feel with a lot of the guys that you came through with gone?
It's just different, like you said. Everybody in that corner gone, but just getting to know new teammates, getting to know each other, getting a better feel of each other, and it's football. At the end of the day, we're gonna gel at the right time and try to win football games.
What's your impression of Dave Canales so far?
Fun guy, got a lot of energy. He geeked up at practice, so it make practice more fun, more competitive. So good coach.
Where have you seen a difference even in having the continuity on the defensive staff coming to this year?
Can you say it again?
The continuity on the defensive side with the staff remaining intact, where have you seen the benefit of that?
It's always a benefit, just staying within the same scheme. They don't really have to learn anything new. It's kind of just perfecting the scheme more and more. So it was a blessing to keep those guys on the defensive side of the ball, and it's made it an easier transition for everybody on the defensive side.
JC, what do you see out of Bryce with all the new weapons he's got around him, and how do you think that's going to help him in this season compared to last?
I think it's just going to help him because he already got a year under his belt. As a player, when your first year is kind of fast, and then that second year slow down a lot. So I think weapons are not. I don't really get into all that. It's just he gonna be a better player just because he going on a year two and pretty much seen a lot of stuff.
JC, is it crazy all the Gamecocks who are here now? I mean, you picked up 2 more this offseason. And what's your background with Clowney and McGinn?
Yeah, it is crazy having Gamecocks on the team. I'm real close. I was in school with DJ, so I'm closer to him than Clowney because he was gone when I got there. But me and DJ was there for 2 years. And it's good having Clowney here. Also, just like you said, keeping them Gamecocks in the building is good.
Room for one more with Stephon?
Huh?
Room for one more with Stephon?
Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of room. So, I mean, that's on them upstairs, and we'll see what they do.
JC, I know it's a weird time, and Xavier was coming on the team in your last year, COVID and all that sort of stuff. What was your relationship with him like? Did you have a previous relationship, and then kind of how needed to go one-on-one with him?
Yeah, X was there. I was there 2 years with X. So we got a chance to, have some practice battles, and he a hell of a player. And now we still going to be competing every day, and except I'm going to just be trying to help him a lot more and try to go hard as I can against him. So when he get out there on Sunday, it'll be a lot easier for him.
Do you remember kind of like the first time you went up against him, and kind of are you able to see his growth to now?
Oh, yeah. He a different receiver than when I was going against him in college. He got way more technical with his routes and just works at a different speed. So I'm excited to see him this year.
Saw you make a good play on him getting that fast breakup. You have any words for him after that?
No, I ain't say nothing to him. It's just healthy competition.
Go back to what you're saying about Bryce, everything slowing down his second year. Canales mentioned when he was in here a few minutes ago, like wanting Bryce to see the timing on those windows now. Did he kind of impart that to you all as well? Like, don't go easy on him, even though it's the first day. Like, make it as speed as you can.
Yeah. We definitely try to go hard against each other. Just like I said, it makes it easier on Sunday when we bring the best out of each other throughout the week. So we definitely not taking it easy on him, and he trying to go at us also. So it's good competition.
Do league-wide expectations still fuel you at this point in your career?
What you mean?
Like how people see the Panthers or like the perception, does that fuel you? I mean, is there some like prove them wrong kind of mentality?
Oh, yeah, for sure. As a competitor, I'm sure a lot of guys on the team got that mindset, but we still got to go earn it. Nothing given. So we just got to go out there and win football games, and everything can change around.
How tough was it for you to see Burns go?
It was tough. It was tough to see all those guys go because that was my dogs. But we stay in good contact, and we know it's a business at the end of the day. And I still got to handle my business here, and they got to handle their business where they at. So we still got a good relationship.
Have you approached this off season any differently? Is there anything different that you're doing?
Kind of just through my program this off season, I did more just weightlifting, trying to get back to the kind of like the college program where I'm just lifting heavy and just trying to build my body back up and reset everything. So we'll see how it go.
Have you noticed? Was it too early to notice a change in that?
I mean, yeah, not really. I mean, we'll know when we get to the season.
JC, with guys like Burns and Dante now not on the team anymore, who do you see
seen on defense step up from a leadership perspective since you've been back in the building?
I mean, Shaq, he was the honcho, or he was the cap before all of us. So, yeah, y'all don't know our lingo, my bad. But yeah, he was cap before the first day I got here. So he still got the big voice in the defensive room. And he a linebacker, and that's kind of they forte.
JC, what went into wanting to do more weight?
Just trying different things. You know what I'm saying? Obviously what I did the years before didn't work. With dealing with injury, and it could be some unluckiness. But just trying to switch something up and just start from ground zero and build my body back up.
JC, I think the general perception of you among fans is if he can just stay on the field, he can be great. He can be a great player. What is your thought on that, and how anxious are you just to put all those injuries behind, just and play a full season and see what you can do in your career?
Yeah, I know that without the fans saying that or anybody else. I watch tape. I know what I'm capable of, and I still feel like I'm one of the best DBs in this league, and I just got to be out there to show it. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
We all good?
Thank y'all.
Thanks, JC. Appreciate it. Thanks.
That, of course, but just his style is very, he wants to teach. He wants to make sure.
Was there like a certain nutrition plan or workout plan or even like regimen plan as far as throwing goes that the Panthers wanted to see you kind of take part in this offseason? Or was there anything that you wanted to kind of get better at, maybe physically or, technically, that you went when you went away on your off time to kind of get better at it here?
Yeah, it wasn't anything from the Panthers standpoint. Obviously, especially right after season, we were in a process of finding a new staff. So obviously that took up a portion of the offseason. And then, there's that period where we're not allowed to have contact with the coaches. And, those are the guys that you talk to, when it comes to the football stuff. So, had to wait till we had that window. We could come up here to learn about all that stuff. And, for me, I definitely had a process in the same way I would have processed every year. Doing similar things. Again, a process I've done every year for probably since high school, of going back, watching film, watching all the games with people I work with, seeing the stuff that I felt like in certain times of the year I got away from or got to get better at, seeing consistent things, stuff like that. And then, try to mix that stuff in, but also, again, obviously I had to wait to get the playbook, wait till we can get up here to find all the specifics. So I was just trying to do all the general stuff, all the basic stuff, knowing that I was going to have to, there's going to be time for me to adapt here and adjust here when I learned all the new footwork and learned all the new plays and how stuff marries. So it was pretty general just because you don't really know what you have in mind. And then now, obviously, being able to talk, it's been a lot more specific on the stuff.
Bryce, you said you don't get a lot of motivation from negative external stuff. Dave also just came in here and said he's not really a negative motivator as well. Is that refreshing that you two kind of see it similarly? Yeah, for sure. Just hearing coach, and again, that's something that he's echoed. And obviously that's something that I've kind of always personally felt like and agreed, and that's something that now we embody as a team. So that's definitely reassuring. And again, it's been great learning the X's and O's from coach, but also just watching him lead, watching him, push us the way we need to be pushed, get us right for this time, and kind of set the tone again. We're in the early stages and still have a lot to do, but it's been great seeing that. So yeah, it's definitely been great being able to have that mindset and just work with him in general.
Bryce, now that there's a date and an opponent, what are your thoughts on playing in Germany and getting to see that contingent of fans that are over there?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've heard a ton. I know, again, I'm super grateful for us to have that fan base out there. I'm super grateful to be able to go out there and experience that and play in front of them. Again, obviously it's going to be there's gonna be a lot of stuff that it's a long way down the road, but there's gonna be a lot of football to focus on when that time comes around. But especially now in the off season, I'm super excited for it. Ooh, I'm a long way from learning German, so I'll be honest. I think I'm gonna just chalk that one up to the game.
You and Ian had a couple of big connections today. Your new tight end, you have a big connection over the middle. What have you seen in the tight end room now that makes you feel that connection with you could be better than it was last year?
Yeah, I think we just had some more time, most all those guys, obviously, JT and newer people, but most all those guys are back from last year. We have more reps. We have more, being able to have more conversations. That room especially always is pushing for more, always wants extra reps, always wants to come up and have that, hey, this little detail, how do you see this? Which I'm super grateful for. So I know how hard they work, how much they care. Obviously, it's the same here with us just having that buy-in. So I think it's just more time and experience.
Hey, I'm not sure if you saw this, but Brandon Miller got a first-team All-NBA rookie. I'm not sure if you saw that today. But have you guys had a chance to hang out much? Or I know you came to one of the games there, I saw you there. But have you guys got a chance to hang out since you guys?
Yeah, we've definitely talked a couple of times, seen him a couple of times, and great dude. I follow basketball a little bit, so definitely not. He was killing, so definitely not surprising. So I'm super excited for him too.
All right, thanks, Bryce.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Marcos, they're definitely I think one of the mods is going through there and definitely deleting his comments for sure. It is what it is. I'm not deleting them. Someone else is. But it is what it is. All right, so I took some notes from this. From listening to all of those press conferences, I took some notes. And so let's go over some of the notes here that I want to mention. These are just what I was hearing and what I kind of took down while listening. Borowski, you must be saying some stupid shit, so I don't know. That's the only way you get deleted comments. Marco's getting deleted? No, Marco's isn't getting deleted, so I don't know. Someone must not be liking what you're saying. It's not me though. I didn't even see your comments, so I don't know what you said. All right, so takeaways from press conference today. No, your comments are getting deleted. Broski, you're not getting deleted. You're not getting blocked. I'm not blocking you. No one's blocking you. Your comments were getting deleted. I don't know what you were saying, but they must have not liked it. So don't know what to tell you. But anyways, basically, JC Horn obviously has been focused on weightlifting this offseason, improve his on-field performance. really reflecting his ineffectiveness of his previous workout routines. When asked about the possibility of adding Stephon Gilmore, the team, J.C. Horn, mentioned that there's always room for one more, leaving the decision to management. From Dave Canales, he mentioned that the emphasis that they need to earn primetime games from today's press conference. Earn primetime games. I like that. Provided positivity updates on progress of Amari Bono's recovery from his ACL injury. He also mentioned not being in touch with Eddie Pinheiro, expressed satisfaction with Harrison Mavis' presence on the field for field goal practice. That's what I took away from that. Then Bryce Young's accuracy was highlighted as his strength from Canales, allowing focus on other aspects of his game. And then Harrison Mavis showcased a perfect field goal record today at OTA's 5 for 5 for field goal record. So pretty good. So Amari Bono changed his jersey number from 90 to 38. Coinciding with the upcoming Hall of Fame abduction of previous number wearer, right? 90 was, y'all know who 90 was. All right. And then notable absences, okay, from voluntary OTAs, were mentioned, including Jadeveon Clowney and Eddie Pinheiro, okay. The improving time between Bryce Young and rookie Xavier Legette was noted and highlighted that Legette's versatility and usage in the offense was a strategic move. And then, of course, overall, the team seems enthusiastic for the upcoming season. That's evident. Focus on player development and team dynamics seems to be the keys here right now. So that was the notes I was taking while we were listening. That's why I was muted. I was typing away. So those were most of the takeaways I took from today's press conference. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we went over a lot of stuff today. So if you're just tuning in, we went over a lot of this stuff today. We talked about roster needs, top roster needs, challenges ahead, concerns of the offense, my concerns for the offense. The Eagles area scout moves to here. Analysts talk about an analyst from Pro Football Focus came out and said that he thinks Bryce Young could be a breakout player, could silence doubters. Then I gave you my top 3 breakout players, as you can see there. Basically a rally cry by our legend running back Jonathan Stewart to basically stop the negativity and the disrespect from fans and analysts alike, especially you fans that are very negative towards this team. You would think that I'm not necessarily saying that you can't be negative, you can't be positive, you can't be skeptic, but just don't downgrade your own team. Giving you my top undrafted free agents that I think will make the roster. We went over that, and for free agents, I think we should target that are still available. And then, of course, the OTAs began, what I told y'all to watch out for. And then, of course, we went over the press conference today. So lots of good stuff. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound the like button, hit that subscribe button. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you rewatch this. Make sure you hit that post notifications bell so you don't miss any new content. We're on the road to 10K. Also, become a member today, starting at even 99 cents. You can become a member today for 99 cents. All right. And whether you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, come on over to if you're watching on Twitter, there's 44 of you. There's a link tree in my bio. It'll take you right to the YouTube channel. All you have to do is come like this live stream, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. All right. And it's all free. And if you're on Twitter, do me a favor, drop a follow. hit a like on this live stream and retweet it. That also helps out as well. So appreciate everyone joining as always. Have a great rest of your Monday. And as always, guys, y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. I'm out of here. Peace.